Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, it's not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled One Version of the Truth, the Alignment Standard Every Leader Must Set. Here we go. There's a phrase I keep coming back to, and I think it deserves more airtime than it gets. And that is, one version of the truth. This is the words of my good friend David English. It sounds simple, almost obvious, but I want to sit with it for a few minutes today. Because in my experience, most organizations are operating without it, and they don't even realize it. Here's where I want to start. Think about the last time your leadership team was in a room together, or on a call, and someone asked a basic performance question. Revenue, customer retention, headcount, doesn't matter. Think about what happened next. How many different answers came up? How many people reached for different spreadsheets, different reports, different time frames? How long did it take before someone said, well, that depends on how you define it? If any of that sounds familiar, you are not operating from one version of the truth. You are operating from a collection of assumptions that everyone has quietly agreed to tolerate. David English said it clearly. In business, it's vital for us to work from one version of the truth. And I think that word, vital, is doing a lot of work in that sentence. Not helpful, not useful, vital. As in, your organization cannot function well without it. Now here's the leadership moment I want to name. This is not a technology problem. I've been in organizations with world-class data infrastructure that still could not align on a number. And I've been in smaller, leaner operations with basic tools that somehow got this exactly right. The difference was never the software. It was the discipline of the leadership. One version of the truth starts with a decision to agree on what matters, how it gets measured, and who owns it. That's it. 3 things. But most teams skip all 3 because they are uncomfortable conversations. Agreeing on what matters means some things get deprioritized. Agreeing on how it's measured means someone's favorite metric might not make the cut. And agreeing on ownership means someone is actually accountable when the number is wrong. And that's where the common misread lives. Most leaders think this is about data governance or reporting structure. They delegate it to a director or a systems team and consider it handled. But one version of the truth is a leadership posture, not a process. It requires you to model it, to walk into meetings and say, I'm working from this number. Is everyone else? To create a culture where surfacing discrepancies is encouraged, not punished. Here's the free reframe I want to offer. One version of the truth is not about control, it's about trust. When your team knows everyone is operating from the same reality, they stop second-guessing each other. They stop spending meeting time reconciling conflicting data and start spending it making better decisions. Alignment becomes possible because the baseline is shared. I watched a leadership team spend 3 quarters arguing about whether their customer satisfaction scores were improving or declining. They had 2 different measurement systems. No one had made a call on which one was authoritative. 3 quarters. Think about what that cost in energy, trust, momentum. The moment they made the decision, one system, one owner, one reporting cadence, everything accelerated. Not because they had better data, but because they had clarity. The carry-forward question I want to leave you with is this. Where in your organization is truth fragmented right now? Not because people are being dishonest, but because no one has made a definitive call on what the truth actually is. What would it cost you to make that call this week? And here's the closing thought. Clarity is a leadership gift. When you give your team one version of the truth to work from, you're not just tidying up a process. You're removing the invisible friction that slows everything down. You're telling people we are all in the same story, and that matters more than most leaders realize.